I'm going to be honest with all of you, I have no idea how to start this video, let alone write a fully comprehensive breakdown of the entirety of Death Stranding. Since completing the first game a year and some change ago, the video has gone through several iterations and concepts, but they kept falling flat. Maybe it's a perfectionist thing or an ism I have, but that game, that experience, was something I felt so strongly about that no matter what I wrote, it didn't feel honest enough. So I set that video to the side for a long time. So, since you're seeing this, you can probably guess that I'm ready to return to that video. Now more than ever, since I've had the pleasure to put a lot of time into the second game. But there's only one problem. I still am unsure how to go about this video. Even now. This game is just a lot. It feels like there's so much to talk about, and I don't want to end up going on 20-minute word salads about sticks and ropes. With that being said, I want to structure this video in a way that hits all cylinders. To do so, the first part of this video will be me talking about Death Stranding. The story, its characters, the music, the gameplay, and of course, Norman Reedus' bodily fluids. Most of what I'll be talking about for this first part will be heavily derived from the first couple of attempts writing about it. The second part will be focused on Death Stranding 2, on the beach. I won't put a heavy focus on core mechanics as they still work just the same if not better for the second game. So I'll only discuss the things that get introduced, and some of this stuff is so genuinely bizarre, I may just have Green Screen Spug talk about it instead of me. He's a way better messenger than I am. In the final parts of this video, I'll be discussing the two as they relate to each other, and find out if Death Stranding 2 is a worthy successor, or just another lazy Sony cash grab. And as an added bonus, to have fun while I'm editing this, some parts of what I'm saying may feel like I'm rambling, but odds are when combining elements from two other videos, they just, for lack of a better term, lost their placement. When those parts happen, I'll put a little dancing BMO on the screen. Death Stranding is without a doubt one of the most memorable and unique games I've ever played. I first played it when it became free on the PS4 and decided to give it a shot. I've played Metal Gear games in the past, but I've never clicked with them. Not to say those games weren't fun, it's just Kojima's way of game design never resonated with me, so I was hesitant to touch it. The trailers and promotional material piqued my interest so much. It seemed to invoke so many more questions and answer them the closer it got to release. But even then, I managed to avoid spoilers for nearly 4 years. So what made me pick the game up? Easy. A creator by the name of Whitelight made a 7-hour review of the game. At first it just became a video to fall asleep to. But it didn't take long for it to capture my interest, and I decided to pick up the physical copy the very next day. After failing miserably to connect with Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, I was so scared I would feel the same about Death Stranding. I wouldn't want to force myself to finish it because that just wouldn't have been fun. I'm also not a horror game person, and knowing Kojima's history specifically with Silent Hills, BTs were a concern for me too. All these concerns were put to rest very early on. Hideo Kojima having his own studio with full creative control had to help out a lot with that. I think the early sentiment about Death Stranding being a walking simulator is very dismissive. There are way too many traversal options just to call it that. I'd compare it to calling Red Dead Redemption Grand Theft Auto, but you're a cowboy. Maybe a quick way to describe it to new players, but Red Dead Redemption, aside from being a completely different game, excels in areas that GTA lacks in. I hope that was a good enough analogy, but just in case it wasn't, imagine actual simulation games. Power Wash Simulator, Farming Simulator. I know what to expect the moment I boot those games up. If you're expecting to just walk around from place to place, you may be in for a rude awakening. Death Stranding isn't a walking simulator. It's a delivery simulator. And Sam is the most persistent Amazon employee I've ever seen. As I mentioned earlier, I kinda gave up on my initial playthrough after Chapter 2. Why?
It's fucking boring, but that's like the point.
But not really, at least not all the way. This felt different, like an uncomfortable difference. It felt like Metal Gear. And as much as I love that franchise, it's always been something that felt more fun to watch other people play, like Elden Ring or Bloodborne. But this time, I was determined to get through it. Death Stranding has 15 main chapters, with the gameplay loop being to make deliveries back and forth between many locations in hopes of expanding the chiral network and reconnecting the United Cities of America, or the UCA. You can make those deliveries walking, running, biking, driving, or even ziplining to your next destination. It's not as simple as just heading there though. There are a variety of landscapes that might make it difficult for bikes or trucks. Throughout the game, you gain access to these bionic leg attachments, One is used for speed, and one is used to haul more weight so you can carry more without sacrificing your stamina, and one is used to move quicker through snowy and rocky terrains. Making deliveries also isn't as simple as carrying stuff on your back like a backpack. Sam is a human, not a machine. He can only carry so much, but what you choose to take may depend on the route you choose, the weight you can carry, and what you want to accomplish on your way to your main destination. Maybe I want to take a route with gaps and mountains, so I pack more ladders to bridge those gaps and scale those mountains. Maybe I'll take the direct route which leads through an enemy camp or a BT area, so I'll pack weapons to deal with them. I always make sure to pack essential items like an extra pair of boots, a rope anchor, and a ladder. This is already sounding like much more than a walking simulator. This game also heavily discourages killing, but weapons are at your disposal. Some lethal, some non-lethal, used for dealing with BTs, homo demons, and mules. Mules don't attack to kill you. They only want your cargo. So much so that if you pass by a mule camp with no cargo, they won't attack you. BTs require a different kind of attack. Sam's special bodily fluid. Or if you've already met Mama, special umbilical cord cutting handcuffs. I swear this game makes me form sentences I never thought I'd say. And then homo demons who actually want you dead, they don't care about causing explosions because they're essentially terrorists. But even though the game discourages it, you can still kill as long as you're willing to haul the body to an incinerator so as not to cause a crater. The things you do in Death Stranding really feel like they matter, especially when it comes to the deliveries. There are other porters that exist in this world, but Porter is Sam's middle name. Literally. Now, if Kojima's time with Konami has taught him anything, it is that he prefers a more cohesive and intimate environment. Unlike most studios that have hundreds and hundreds of people working on a title, Kojima Productions as it is now is very small compared to the other studios. Starting up your own independent studio may sound like a daunting task, but Hideo basically had the backing of the entire industry behind him, in addition to having decades of experience. Death Stranding looks good. Like, really good. But this isn't the Fox engine that was used to make Metal Gear. This is the Decima engine that was developed by Guerrilla Games for Horizon Zero Dawn, which at the time didn't really have a name. But once partnering up with Kojima, they gave it one and even made the engine better, all in an effort to contribute into making his next game a success. This is probably the reason you can find references to Horizon all over Death Stranding. Just a quick question to circle back. Do you guys remember Kojima's Silent Hill game? Norman Reedus was meant to be the game's protagonist before its cancellation. Now he has the lead role in his first big game outside of Metal Gear. Now Death Stranding has an amazing cast, but not just of characters, of people. Half the cast is made up of people with some sort of connection to Hideo. A big example of this is Guillermo del Toro, a close personal friend of Kojima, who he credits for encouraging him to continue working on his projects. Del Toro's likeness is used in the game as the Deadman character. Troy Baker can be another example. He's worked with Hideo in the past, most recently as his role in Ocelot in The Phantom Pain, now given the role as the game's enigmatic antagonist, Higgs. Or someone who's been on Hideo's side from the beginning, a really good friend of his, the creator of the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley. Jeff appears in the game only as a hologram, but he has some lines and it just goes to show you the lengths Hideo goes to show his appreciation for the people that have all helped him. The prologue opens up with this really dramatic intro with our main character Sam, played by Norman Reedus, on a delivery riding his trike. It begins to rain too, but you notice immediately that the rain isn't just rain. It's something called timefall, which rapidly ages anything and anyone it touches. Sam, who's trying to escape the timefall, almost hits a woman we later find out is fragile, who teleports away. The two take shelter in a nearby cave from the timefall, hold their breath from a BT, or a beach thing, an entity from the afterlife stranded in the world of the living after the events of the Death Stranding. Fragile and Sam are able to see the BT because they have something called dooms, a type of condition allowing them to have a connection with the other side. Sam has level 2, so he can only sense them, while Fragile can actually see them because her level is a bit higher. Once the timefall has let up and the introductions are done, the two go their separate ways. Sam meets up with other porters, one specifically named Igor, who are on their way to incinerate a body before it reaches necrosis. The way to the incinerator, or at least the shortcut that they took, is filled with BT, so Igor brought a BB, or a bridge baby, which helps people without Doom sense BTs. Needless to say, the trip there is, interrupted. Some of you may know this from the trailer, but I'll let what happens play out right here.
They're here. I can't get you out!
Ooh, Kojima, you did it again. I still think the intro of The Phantom Pain was awesome and crazy intense, but this is a close second. It perfectly sets the tone for the game while raising the right questions in the player's head. Sam wakes up to a humongous crater after the events that transpired, and he didn't die because he's a repatriate, for reasons we'll find out later. Episode 1, Bridget, is a very short first chapter. It introduces Deadman, played by Guillermo del Toro, a close friend to Kojima, but voiced by Jesse Cordy. Deadman subtly explains some of the game's mechanics he used, such as while you were unconscious, they took blood and other fluids from Sam's body, because apparently being a repatriate and all grants Sam's fluids special anti-BT properties. On the way to deliver morphine to the dying president, Sam encounters Die Hardman. He's the current director of Bridges, and it's said he has some history with Sam. It's unclear at this point in the game why Sam had a falling out with Bridges, but I'm sure we'll get to that. We meet President Bridget, played by Lindsay Wagner, who is dying and urges Sam to join Bridges and finish her quest to make America whole again. It's said that it's Sam's mom, so yeah. Once she dies, we're tasked with taking her and the BB who got Igor killed to the incinerator. Once there, we have our first encounter with BTs, and Sam connects the discontinued BB to help him sense them. It turns out okay, but Sam has Doom, so connecting with a BB can lead to some unwanted side effects, but I'll touch on that later. Hey, before I move on, I didn't know where to put this, but I forgot to mention that Sam has a condition called aphenphosphobia, which is the irrational fear of being touched. So whenever someone goes in for a handshake, a shoulder pad, or a hug, Sam backs up like he is genuinely disgusted. Episode 2 introduces the character of Amelie, also played by Lindsay Wagner. A sister and inferred caregiver to Sam. She's the next to take Bridges' place, but she's being held captive by Homo Demons, a group of terrorists who cause void-outs on purpose, in Edge Knot City, all the way across the continent. Sam makes it pretty clear he doesn't care about rebuilding America or Bridges, but he does care about Amelie, and will do as many deliveries as it takes to reconnect the chiral network and make America whole again. Fragile is the third and longest chapter in the entire game. It is because of this chapter I thought I'd be playing this game for months. Fragile, played by Léa Seydoux, is also running a delivery business, the Fragile Express. We help her deliver packages under her contracts to expand the UCA, and most of the people refuse to work with Fragile because of her past alliance with the Homo Demons and their leader, Higgs. Most of the orders in Chapter 3 are filler, if I'm being honest. The real reason for it comes at the end when Higgs poses as a delivery man, giving you a nuclear bomb to deliver to Fragile in the most unsubtle way possible. Once we properly dispose of the bomb, Fragile opens up to us about her past with Higgs and the terrorists and what they do to her, and I'll just let that scene play out too.
By the time I realized what Higgs was planning, the nuke was already at the city gates. I followed the delivery truck and somehow managed to carry the bomb to safety. But Higgs had been on to me from the start. He caught me red-handed outside the gates, nuke still cradled in my arms like a child. So, as punishment, he strips me down to nothing. And then he makes it rain.
Listen up, Fragile. I got a proposition for you. Do you want to live out your days as damaged goods? Or would you rather take damage for the goods?
Get to the point.
All right. If all you want is to save yourself, you just have to jump. However, if you want to see this altruistic streak of yours through, then you'll have to carry my nuke to the bottomless pit and toss it in. Oh, sure, you'll be the city's savior. But you will have to walk naked through Timefall to do it. Trade a lot of your time for a little bit of the city's? Hell, seems like a fair exchange to me. truth is, I don't much care for my face. That's why I hide it. Oh, but you... Ooh, you just love yours, don't you? I bet Daddy was real proud. Oh. Don't worry. I won't mess it up. See, I want your face to be a kind of testament.
Why did you do it? Why did you betray me?
Because I found someone who completes me. Someone who doesn't need me to wear a mask. Oh. Word to the wise. Even if you do save South Knot, you'll always be the nut job who blew up Middle Knot. Oh, and that pretty face of yours will always be remembered as the face of a terrorist. They'll never stop hunting you. Believe me, I know. Oh, they can slap a sticker on you, but you're still gonna break in transit. Oh. So, what's it gonna be?
I'll take the damage and the goods. I don't break that easy.
Well, good luck with that.
I'll take the damage and the goods. I don't break that easy. I'll take the damage and the goods. I don't break that easy. Because I'm fragile, but I'm not that fragile.
That was a really beautiful scene. Weird, but still beautiful nonetheless, and a perfect send-off to Fragile's chapter. Before I talk about episode 4, touching back on Sam's connection with BB, it can lead to him having some memories that aren't his own, so every so often when he connects, he'll see a man from BB's perspective that he's never seen before. In the start of chapter 4, Sam gets sucked into a storm and sent to the World War I battlefield. I'm sorry, can I do that line again? A World War I battlefield? That probably depicts it better than Battlefield 5. And we pick a fight with a man who looks similar to the man in BB's memories, but only described here as the combat veteran. Once you're successful, he tries to take your baby before you're subsequently back in your own world, and according to Deadman, only gone for a couple seconds. And this transitions us to episode 5. In chapter 5, we meet probably my favorite character in the game, Mama, played by Margaret Qualley, who plays the scientist who invented the hardware that bridges use. You hear from her throughout the game, but this is the first time you actually get to see her in person, and she has a dead baby attached to her, for lack of a better term. Essentially, she gave birth during the time of the Death Stranding, only barely surviving as she was crushed under some rubble, but the baby didn't make it. Instead, it lives on as a BT, connected to Mama forever. Mama wants us to go help her twin sister Lochna and Mountain Knot, but Lochna wants nothing to do with bridges, and Mama is the only one that can convince her otherwise. So Mama disconnects herself from the baby, and, well, I'll just show you.
Hey, Sam. Thanks for coming back. Got something for you. These are your new cufflinks. They still work as a terminal, but I've added a weapon function. I was able to redesign everything from the ground up after the last connection.
They're weapons too now.
That's right. Cord cutters. I should explain. BTs are connected to the other side via umbilical cords, right? When those cords bring the matter of our world into contact with the antimatter of theirs, boom. Void out. But, just as Deadman theorized, your blood does have unique properties. It can be used to cut a BT's cord. So, I've added that function. Cut the cord of the BT, and it returns to the world of the dead. No BT, no void out. Win-win.
These things can cut them loose.
If you can get close enough without them noticing, yes.
Cord snipping, super handcuffs.
Right. Let's try them out. Cut the cord connecting us. She's sound asleep. I made sure she got plenty of milk. Just do it. Please, Sam. Set us free. This world was never hers, but all the same, I didn't want her to leave it. Even though she's already lost. Truth is, she's not really my daughter.
The attack and everything, that was all a lie?
No, that part was true. My ovaries can't produce eggs, and Lochna has trouble with her uterus. Long story short, neither of us can have children. I was alright with it. I mean, children, who needs them, I thought. But my sister thought differently. Lochna wanted a child, someone to carry her genes. She fell in love with another member of Bridges, but he died in an accident. She was devastated, of course, as was I. Back then, strong emotions like that, I could feel hers, and she could feel mine. When I sensed her desire to join him, to end it, I went to her and said, let's have a baby. We took one of Lochna's eggs and fertilized it with his frozen sperm. And I carried it to term. A healthy baby grew inside me. But then there was the attack. And our bond was severed. I wanted to tell her. But I was bound to the child. I couldn't just abandon her. But I was wrong. Lochna needs to know. You have to break some ties to forge others. Can't be tied to everything. If we're going to reconnect the world, I need to reconnect with my sister first. So please, Sam, Do it. Alright, Sam. Take me home to Lochner.
We take Mama to Lochner where the two share their physical goodbyes before becoming one. Yeah, I just said that. Probably the most normal thing that happens in this game, relatively speaking. Episode 6, entitled Dead Man, is an interesting one because we're just doing orders, except we don't have BB to help us detect BTs. So it's a bit of an added challenge, but not incredibly difficult. On the last order, when Dead Man has fixed BB, on the way to get BB, you and Dead Man get sucked into another storm and transitions to episode 7. Episode 7 is very similar to episode 4, where we fight the same man in a very similar fashion in a different environment, still in World War II. But not before Dead Man unleashes his entire backstory to us. After defeating the man again, we arrive back in our world. Dead Man starts researching what we just went through, and we start episode 8. We meet Heartman, a character who was having heart surgery during the Death Stranding and was resuscitated exactly 21 minutes after his death. His wife and daughter were not so lucky. He lives his life in 21-minute intervals and spends 3 minutes on the beach trying to find his family.
As it happens, I've read about your circumstances. I lost my family in an accident too. I was in the ICU having heart surgery, out of town, in the city. When it was clear that I was going to pull through, my wife took my daughter back to the house to collect some things for me. And then they were caught in the void outs. The city and the hospital were spared the worst, but the shockwave knocked out the power and my life support. I woke up on the beach. The people who died in the 2 void outs were there. What happened? What's going on? I saw my wife and my daughter in the procession. Hey! It's me! Where are you going? Wait! Don't leave without me! No! Don't go! Please, don't go! The ICU's backup generator kicked in, and I was brought back to life by the defibrillator. Exactly 21 minutes after my heart had stopped. And that was the last time I saw my family. It's my damned heart's fault that we were torn apart, but it's also the reason I'll see them again someday. It defines me. I am Hartman. Ever since, I've walked the beaches of others. I follow my family's footsteps for a while, and when I get tired, I return here to continue my research. It's funny though, even when my heart stops, the pain lingers. You have any family photographs, Sam? Pity.
I'm going to use this line from the White Light video I saw. It's very rare that a character unloading their entire backstory like this doesn't come off as terrible writing. But in Hartman's case, it works. That's who he is, made by his heart and undone by his heart. And the saddest part about this is what he's doing is kind of pointless. He's checked nearly 300,000 beaches, and he will never find his family. But just like the underlying theme of this game, he has hope. We do a few orders before Hartman comes to a conclusion that Amelie is an EE, or an extinction entity, designed to bring on the last Stranding. Sam, of course, doesn't want to accept it, but it wouldn't be the craziest thing suggested. One of my favorite parts of the games happens right before episode 9, where in order to get to Edge Knot City, we have to trigger a BT encounter, which causes a bunch of buildings to arise from the Sea of Tar, and we parkour across them, eventually reaching Amelie. Episode 9 is all about Higgs. By the way, Higgs is named after the Higgs boson, which is why he calls himself the particle of God. This chapter is fairly short, but it's also technically the endgame, seeing as though you finally reach Edge Knot City, completing the chiral network. Only thing is, Higgs has been reaping the benefits of our hard work and knows Amelie's location, and gets to her before we do, which starts an insane BT boss fight. Once defeated, Higgs will kill Sam, but again, Sam is a repatriate, so once he comes to, he has Fragile jump him to the beach where another boss fight ensues. This time, in area 1-on-1 with him, and you can choose to stealth him or go for a more direct route like I did. After that, Higgs wants one more go, so we fight in the ocean with Mortal Kombat style hand-to-hand combat, equipped with health bars and slow motion punches. Once we beat Higgs, we offer him to choose his fate, and Fragile is left up to that decision.
I'm Higgs. I'm the particle of God that permeates all existence. What are you? Honey, you ain't nothing but damaged goods.
You are damaged goods.
We rescue Amelie, and then she says the weirdest thing I have ever heard.
The beach goes the whole way. We run together.
Run?
Yeah. Like Mario and Princess Beach.
So we run in slow motion across the beach until we see Die Hardman talking to a young Bridget, and from the ocean comes Cliff, and John looks kind of terrified to see him immediately dropping to his knees, begging for forgiveness. Cliff isn't here for Die Hardman. He's here for BB. But before we're able to see what happens next, Amelie pushes us into the water, sending us back into the world of the living. Episodes 10 through 14 are titled Die Hardman, Clifford Unger, Bridges, Sam Strand, and Lou. They all happen one after the other, intentionally making the final hours of the game feel like a movie. In Die Hardman, you're tasked with backtracking all the way back to Central Knot City with no gear. Thanks, Kojima. Once you've arrived, you're sucked into another storm, into another battlefield to fight Cliff. Only this time, once you beat him, he doesn't try to take Lou from you anymore. He just hugs Sam, and I love that instead of fighting for BB, he just wants to hold BB again. The episode Bridges sees us delivering crypto bytes to Fragile as she's worn herself thin traveling to and from the beach with so many people. The challenge being on the way to her and the package can't be submerged in water. Only that isn't the hard part. The road ahead consists of terrorists, rough terrain, and every BT area is an instant boss fight, which you may try to fight if you have a weapon on you, but I'm telling you now, it's better to run. You have one more incredibly mediocre but amazing boss fight with this huge whale like BT before making it Fragile, giving her the crypto bytes and having her jump us to the beach one more time. In Sam Strand, we stop Amelie from performing the last Stranding, but because of that, it looks like we're stuck on the beach all alone. After wandering around the beach aimlessly for literally several dozen minutes to fake ending credits, Sam tries to off himself by using the gun given to him by Amelie. Only it doesn't kill him. It actually helps Hartman track his location, allowing Bridges to save him. The scene jumps to the inauguration day of America's new president, Die Hardman. Sam tries to leave, not before being stopped by Die Hardman, who spills the truth to Sam, mask off and everything. And Tommy Earl Jenkins is so good.
I killed Captain Clifford Unger. I would tell you I did it for America. For love of country. But I didn't. I did it for her. Because I loved her with all my heart. She was everything to me. Everything. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses. I just want you to know that not a day's gone by when I haven't thought about it. Time didn't help. Or the mask. Please, let me finish. The captain, saved my life. You know why they call me Die Hardman. Because he wouldn't let me die. He brought my sorry ass back home every time. And I loved him as much as I loved her. And when he stared me down, that ghost, I knew he was here to kill me, to make it right. And why shouldn't he? Why didn't he? He couldn't save his kid, his baby. And that's what brought him back. I guess when he saw I was trying to do my part for America, he remembered who he was. And he forgave me. God! But I don't deserve it, God damn it!
After that, Deadman gives us Lou, who appears to have died, and we're given the order to take Lou to the incinerator. No equipment, no hostiles, no BT, just a good run to the incinerator with BB's theme playing in the background. And when I tell you, this was my favorite part of the game. Once arriving at the incinerator, Sam decides to connect to BB once more, and this time we see all those memories we've seen throughout the game, but not from the perspective of BB this time.
Child special. One of a kind.
A BB candidate.
Either that or
A sacrifice.
A foundation. A bridge.
Brought you an astronaut. Mankind can go anywhere, even outer space. You'll be out of there in no time. And the second all this is over, I'm gonna take you wherever you want to go.
help you? Holy shit. John, is that you?
Captain, what are you doing here?
My wife's checked in. They don't want a repeat of last year.
The Void Out in Manhattan. I'm so sorry. I didn't know you were the husband.
This isn't what we agreed on. You said you'd do everything in your power to save BB.
We are. But we cannot release your son just yet. Believe me when I tell you it's for the best.
This is a woman in a mask who's done nothing but lie to me.
I have a duty to protect our country. Lies are an unfortunate necessity.
The President gave me the highest level access privileges. I've used them to manipulate the security system. We have 5 minutes before it resets, sir. 5 minutes to talk. Off the record. Take BB and get out of this place. There's nothing I can do for your wife. I'm sorry. You were my commanding officer, but I swore an oath to the President to protect her and the country at all costs. Now, if she orders me to do something, I have to do it. I have to. But I served under you first. And your family doesn't deserve this. Any of this.
Why are you helping me? If they catch you.
Because you saved my life, sir. Again and again. When the brass sent us into the jaws of hell, it was you that brought us home. Back then, I thought I was invincible. I thought I was some kind of action hero. But I'm not the hero. You are, sir. You're the reason I'm still alive. And it's past time I paid that debt. They're moving your son to a new facility tomorrow. You'll never see him again. He'll serve as the foundation of a new communications network. A sacrifice for a nation that no longer exists. I wrote down everything you need to know. It was the only way to keep it off the system. Burn it when you're done. The rest is up to you, sir. I believe this belongs to you, sir. Now, I can't terminate your wife's life support from inside her room. System won't allow it. So, this is the only other option. alarm is set to go off if she flatlines. I've rigged the system to spoof her vitals. But you won't have long. 5 minutes, tops. Don't hesitate, sir. This is the only chance you'll get.
I'm sorry, Lisa. Don't worry. I'll take care of him. I promise you. I promise you. My animal, Lisa. I'm sorry.
Please!
Hey, put it down!
Drop it!
Put it down!
Back off. Back off!
Get him! Don't do it!
I'll handle this. I'm sorry, Captain.
Don't! You got it! You two! Stay there! And hold your fire.
Thanks for trying, John.
Stop! Step aside, sir, or we'll be forced to open fire.
It's a dead end. He's trapped. Security will take it from here.
I'm sorry, Lisa. I screwed it up. I've ruined everything.
This room is off limits. No one goes in. But he's in there, sir. I saw him. You saw him all. Now check the other way. Go! Yes, sir.
No. Open it up. He's inside.
Move, dumbass.
BB. Don't worry. It's okay. I'll always be with you. See the sunset, the day is ending. Let that yawn out, there's no pretending. I will hold you and protect you. So let love scared. Scared of what it would mean. I had to be there for you and your mom. No matter what. I couldn't just go off and get myself killed anymore. Couldn't leave you all alone. I couldn't.
Get off of him! Now!
I had it all wrong. All wrong. Being a father didn't make me scared. It made me brave. I'm sorry. Sorry it took me so long.
Captain, look at you.
Don't make the same mistake. Be yourself. Be free.
Oh my God.
Captain, I need you to hand it over.
Shoot him, John.
Let it go. Please.
Shoot him! I gave you an order. Shoot him!
You told me your name was Sam Porter. But you're Sam Bridges. My son. My bridge to the future. Without you, I was just like any other Cliff. Dead end. No way forward. Nothing but an obstacle. Looking on at the world people like you were trying to build. Dividing people was the only thing I was ever good at. But not you, Sam. You bring people together. You're their bridge to the future. And mine. Come on, Sam. Stand up.
Is this me?
Not BB too.
No, 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 no! Sam. There you are. You want to go home? Let's go home. It's okay. I know the way. Welcome back.
You understand his days as a BB are over, now that his connection to the other side has been severed.
It was me who cut the cord. So yes.
A deathless repatriate in the world of the living. Should we decommission him?
take him out of the pod. I'll raise him as my own.
Come on, Lou. Wake up.
Come on, Lou, wake up. Come on, Lou.
Come on, Lou, wake up. Wake up. Come on. Wake up! Come on, Lou, wake up. Lou.
Sam decides to burn his Bridget's cuffs and releases Lou from her pod. And this final still of them standing in the rain together is just mwah. I mean, wow, right? What an experience. The best part? We're only halfway done. Death Stranding 2, full title Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, takes place 11 months after the end of the first game. It opens with some light exposition from Léa Seydoux reprising her role as Fragile. It also opens similar to the first game with the opening credits switching between different breathtaking environments to -61 by Woodkid. And to the YouTube guidelines that review this video, it's been stated by the creator himself that all music we hear is in-game music, so I won't be too shy in sharing some of my favorites. We see Sam and Lou again chilling on a mountain with Lou looking visibly older, a drastic shift from living in a pod. Once taking control, our first main objective is heading home. Now, scaling down this rocky mountain was easy enough, but Kojima uses this time to teach newbies core mechanics like running, climbing, and soothing Lou. Speaking of which, with us scaling down this mountain, I feared heavily for Lou's safety. It's one thing to fall in the first game and to land on the pod, but she's right on our chest this time. I took the liberty of accidentally testing what would happen, and it seems like Kojima Productions took the extra mile, so whenever Sam falls, he makes sure to stick his hands out as to not fall on Lou, and I really appreciate that. There's also a new hazard that gets introduced called gatequakes. They're essentially earthquakes that just make porting on foot a little shaky. When the two arrive home, it's revealed that Sam has a holographic BT security system, I assume to keep away intruders. But there's this weird scene where Sam walks up to the fake BTs and stares at it like he's squaring up. But this is just for the audience because Sam knows that they're fake. And there are so many scenes like this where things are done for the audience and not for the story or the characters. I call them Kojima-isms. And sometimes they're cool. Other times they just don't make sense narratively. But it somehow works because they can only work in the world of Death Stranding. Inside Sam's humble abode, he's a strong contender for Father of the Year. Off of the UCA grid, no longer carrying the stress of saving the world, He and Lou have been living happily together for a while. They're visited in the night by a hooded figure who, spoiler alert, is fragile, and she informs Sam that the Death Stranding isn't over and humanity is still at risk of extinction. Great. She also informs Sam and us that Bridges has fallen, and every character from the first game is irrelevant, saying Deadman, Lochner, and Hartman all went their separate ways, and the real kicker, Die Hardman, is no longer president. You telling me he couldn't get through a single term? After Bridges was dismantled, Fragile Express was next, and that caused Fragile to start up another organization called Drawbridge. Hope I'm able to remember that. She says we have to go to Mexico, which is cool. After spending all last game in what was the US, it's cool that we're getting whole new environments. When she's done exposition dumping, the game gives me dialogue options to respond. This is a welcome change, although it genuinely has no real effect on your game other than some additional info, and honestly it gets old fast, but again, still really appreciate it. Sam decides to take the job on the condition that Fragile stays behind to watch Lou, and of course, she accepts. On his way out, she gives him this new in-game options menu, the Ring Terminal, which Sam slides on his thumb because of course he does, and Kojima doesn't keep it subtle. She also gives him an updated version of the Cupid, which he'll need for Mexico. A few things about Fragile since the last game. She apparently has an affliction called jump shock, so she won't be doing a lot of teleporting this game. She also has these hands around her neck, and like the hands are wearing little gloves, and they move on their own, I think. And once I saw these in the trailer, I knew they would be one of the best parts about the entire game, and it sucks that Sam can't equip them himself. I don't really know what sort of in-game purpose they'd have, but I equipped them nonetheless. Sam says goodbye to Lou and tells Fragile to, quote, not break my kid. And episode 1, titled Sam, finally starts. On the way there, we encounter mules, and there's a crazy sandstorm with lightning strikes super close to you, and sometimes it makes for some cool visuals. When Sam arrives to make the drop, he takes a rest in the private room and has a dream where he finds Lou on the beach, causing him to wake up in a panic before Fragile holograms in to say that everything's fine. We make our way to the next location where a gatequake causes Carwillium levels to rise, even causing a crazy-looking BT to disturb Sam's rest. We play the game a bit more and eventually encounter my first BT section. It was easy enough, keeping your distance and whatnot, doesn't mean I didn't get caught.
It's been too long, Sam. You were a good friend to me. One I could never forget. Which is why I took steps to ensure that this message would only play upon your arrival. The sensors were set to scan for your biometric data. A simple enough trick. Now, this was originally a geophysics laboratory established for the study of earthquakes. And for that reason, it holds a wealth of documentation on gatequakes, tar currents, and placates. As well, I discovered, as research data on the other side. Now, what I'm about to tell you, I learned after I came to this place. Imagine that this is the lab. Though it's relatively close to the northern tip of South America, the continent is entirely cut off from us by a tar belt. And so we have no idea what's going on down there. Nor do we know the state of any continent other than our own. The researchers here were trying to establish contact with the rest of the world. They were well equipped to do so, as the facility had once been used to launch research satellites. So they tried launching a variety of probes and drones in the hope of obtaining observational data, with no success. The Earth, you see, is shrouded in a thick layer of chiralium that renders electronics inoperable at altitude. So they tried sending ships across the ocean. Oh, yes. Oh, but that failed too. The high concentration of chiralium in open water proved too corrosive, invariably causing them to sink. But then the researchers found some rather rare birds on their doorsteps. Birds not native to the region. Nice birdie, nice birdie. And that, my friend, was just the beginning. Not far from the lab, they discovered a strange anomaly. Well, the surrounding area was heavily contaminated with chiralium. Yes. This is beautiful. The researchers would later dub the anomaly a plate gate. But further investigation revealed that it came into existence when you began to expand the chiral network across North America, and that the gate grew larger in tandem with the network itself. What started as a tiny fissure in space became so much more. The researchers duly installed cameras to study the gate and its surrounding area. Now, to their surprise, they caught footage of some unusual marsupials. Yes, a kind you wouldn't expect to normally encounter in Central America, like the birds. But to confirm their suspicions, they sent an autonomous robot through the gate. The soil samples it collected were consistent with the archived geological data from the southern hemisphere. Not long after, several men and women came through the gate. They spoke English, and they confirmed that they had indeed come from faraway Australia. We finally knew the world outside North and Central America had survived. Ours was not the last bastion of humanity, but Australia had suffered the Death Stranding too. Undeterred, the researchers began working closely with Bridges and conducted a series of tests, paving the way for an expedition to Australia that would lay the groundwork for chiral network expansion. After they had first installed surveillance equipment, that is, so that the gate could be monitored from the Mexican side, a necessity to this day as Australia is not yet connected to the chiral network. The UCA may not have dreams of conquest and control, but they aren't about to let just anyone use the gate. Indeed, that's one of the reasons they were so determined to connect Australia to the network in the first place. Well, I suppose that's all I have to say about the plate gate. There's something else that I need to tell you, though. Something far more important. Mind if I pause it here? I have to go take a shower.
Deadman is still runner-up for Yapper of the Year, but it is super cute that Sam tried to hug him. Among other things, he says we gotta go to Australia. Not before we go fight a super big and scary BT that's disturbing the peace outside the facility. After compromising that BT to a permanent end, Deadman drops another bombshell on us.
As I said before, there's something I need to tell you. It's about Lou. You see, after you left Bridges, I decided to do a little digging into BB-28's past. That is, Lou's. I found the BB decommissioning records. Now, according to them, BB-28 was flagged for disposal and subsequently incinerated 4 years ago, long before you and Lou first met.
That's BB-28?
This is the child officially identified as BB-28. But if you look closer, Sam, you see at once that it can't possibly be Lou. Right there at the elbow, where the birthmark should be. Nothing. Which means we have another BB-28 on our hands. The one with whom you memorably went west and back not so long ago. That is Lou. Per regulations, the serial number assigned to each BB was unique. No two units should have ever been assigned the same one. I've cross-checked the details with the most up-to-date entries in the UCA database. And indeed, there is no reason to believe BB-28 survived. All of which can only mean, Sam, that the bridge baby you carried with you on your journey across America, Lou, was never recorded in the official database. So, where then did Luke come from? Right now, your guess is as good as mine. But as worrying as that sounds, this could actually be to your advantage, since it's functionally impossible for the UCA or Bridges to track a BB of which they have no record. Which is lucky, because if they did know about a BB that could live and grow outside the pod, they'd want to secure it for study. So take comfort in the knowledge that they don't, that you're free, that you can bring up Lou in peace. How is it, by the way? The two of you living as a family. Right. I have gifts for you. A few things to take back home. An assortment of vaccines to be administered as your child grows up. We want Lou to live a long and healthy life. And it's natural for children to be afraid of shots. Maybe this will help put Lou's mind at ease. A token of my affection. You can collect it via the delivery terminal when you leave. I wonder how big Lou will get. Anyway, there's one more thing I wanted to share with you. As you know, everyone is meant to go to their own beach when they die. But unlike most people, I wasn't born from a mother. I was born from an artificial womb. Transplants provided the organs I never had. I was incomplete and had no beach, I believed. But I wasn't about to accept that. I went back home to study the Ha and Ka and the beach. I threw myself into my work, Sam. I tried. But I think I've done all that I can. In the end, I'm still a patchwork Frankenstein's monster. One that's just about worn out. As a doctor, I can tell you, I don't have long left. So I've devoted my remaining time to research. That's why I'm here, Sam. Where I can focus on the beach. There's so much data here, Sam. On beach formation, jumping via beaches, the relationship between the beach and plate gates. All the evidence you could ever wish for. Not enough to solve every mystery, perhaps, but enough for me to make an incredible personal discovery. That I have a beach after all. It doesn't matter how I was born. I have lived as a human. And thus do I possess a beach like any other. I am not a machine, but a person with a Ha and a Ka and a beach to go with them. Lastly, I have a confession for you, along with a heartfelt apology. I told you once that I didn't have dooms. But that's not actually true. Not that I was lying, you understand. I just didn't know. It was only after I found my beach that I realized. Chiral allergic reaction. I can feel it getting closer. I'm off to the beach, Sam. To my beach. Take care of yourself.
Wait, so BB isn't BB? You know what? I don't even want to touch this yet. I'll revisit this when it comes back up. In other news, it turns out Deadman has a beach now. Like it was touched on in the first part of this video, Deadman described himself as a Frankenstein who couldn't have a beach. But thanks to a bunch of research, I guess, this is where his story ends with us. Our last order in Mexico is to take a gift back to Lou. It's a long way back, but thankfully Kojima has the aux and it makes trips like this a hell of a lot easier. Once arriving home, it's clear that something has gone horribly wrong. For those who have watched the trailer, this part may not come to a surprise. Sam returns to his damaged house with Lou and Fragile both missing. He follows Fragile's trail and finds her unconscious, only to find out that Lou is dead. A month goes by and we get a similar shot from the beginning of Sam sitting on the mountain, only this time without Lou. When you reach the bottom, Sam sees Lou crying on the ground, probably a side effect of PTSD. He attempts to take his own life, but again, Sam is a repatriate, and I can only imagine this cycle has been like this for a while. But through what I can only assume is some sort of BT magic, since dying, Lou has returned to the pod she was in all first game. Sam, on the other hand, he's looking rough. He gets a wellness check from Fragile, who basically says it's time to shit, shave, and bathe and get back to work. It looks like Sam aged 100 years in a month. It sucks we can't keep his hair like this, or have the option to change his hair in the same game where we also have the option to pee. She introduces us to our base this time around, the DHV Magellan, a ship that uses tar currents to travel, but only to areas under the chiral network. And if you think you're going to forget the name of it, I promise you won't. Aboard the ship, we meet the ship's captain, Tarman, and this game's Mimir, Dollman. I kid you not, there's even not subtle scene where Sam starts to put him on his backside before settling on the front. With introductions out of the way, it's time to head over to Australia to bring it to the chiral network. Again, I can't sing this game's praises enough for its visuals. The trip to get to Australia, and Australia as a whole, are absolutely gorgeous. A little later on the ship, we meet the President, and the orchestrator/benefactor of this little group here on board, codenamed Charlie. He's some faceless mannequin who Sam doesn't trust because he looks like a faceless mannequin. That's when I was faced with the choice to choose a face and voice for Charlie, between Lochner, Hartman, Die Hardman, and Deadman. I naturally settled on Die Hardman because hearing Margaret Qualley's voice saying, "Sam, this is Charlie," would drive me insane. Hartman is already heavily involved with Drawbridge later if any promotional material is anything to go by, and Deadman just found his beach, so I should let him rest. Die Hardman was the only reasonable choice for me, but with a little bit of research, I found that the game always gives you Die Hardman, which I have a huge problem with, but can't talk about why until much later in this video. Speaking of much later in this video, I'll also discuss this President guy later too. He's going to bring up APAC, which is this private organization that operates post DS1, which, okay, more on them later too, just know that they're kind of the bad guys right now. With the UCA in the past, we set to expand the chiral network to Australia. Be sure to fabricate your kangaroos and didgeridoos because this is where the game really starts. This game doesn't follow the character named episodes theme, so I'm going to talk about the mundane orders pretty succinctly while putting emphasis on the big things. After entering Australia via this cool looking gate, and I mean absolutely crazy looking portal, and bringing on the observatory and musician, Sam is informed of a disturbance on the F1 distribution center. It's important to mention that whenever the tar currents are disrupted, the DHU Magellan is unable to move, so no fast travel or quick access to your private locker and room until the issue is resolved. Once he's arrived, it's very clear what, or should I say who, is causing all of this.
Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? Been a long time, Sam.
Fuck, how you still alive?
Oh, no, I'm just a ghost. Come to take my revenge on you and that bitch Fragile. All the way from the other side. Of course, there's no point in trying to kill you when you won't stay dead. But there are plenty of other ways to make you suffer. Huh? The kid kicked the bucket, huh? Shame. Goddamn shame. So now what, you just lug in that coffin or... pod? Going on a walkabout? Well, that's touching. Even if you don't know a goddamn thing about Lou.
What do you say?
Maybe I can't kill you, you won't die, but you can lose everything you love. And torture yourself for the rest of time, knowing that death will never come for you. So you go on your little walkabout. Go wherever you want, but I will be damned if I let you link up this continent. Not because extinction's my creed, though, no. I want to build a world where fear and violence are king. And who do you think will come out on top, Sam? You? With your hippy-dippy network? Or me? With my more rough and tumble methods? I can't wait to find out.
We have the first Ghost Mech Kaiju fight, and it is super duper fun. And you can sometimes forget how crazy these get after almost 3 full chapters of just go here, go there. Once defeating it, we catch up with Fragile, who is understandably shaken up by Higgs' return. But I'm sure Higgs isn't the type to hold a grudge. At the distribution center we were traveling to, it actually unlocks this cargo railway that can be ridden. I think I got some footage of that, and it's actually really cool. Shortly after making another order and heading back to the DHV Magellan, we talk to Tarman, and this is the bit where we have to know what makes Tarman, Tarman. The entirety of the first game had characters introduce themselves in this way, and for better or worse, the second game still does this. Now, unfortunately, I think the footage I captured of Tarman's backstory got corrupted or something, but essentially Tarman lost his son in a horrific fishing accident. They were out catching chiral mammals in the tar, and a storm and BTs from within the mammal's womb caused the tar to take his son and his hand. And that's one hell of a backstory. The coolest thing about Tarman is that he used his hand that was lost in the tar to traverse it. Him losing his son feels like it makes his story sadder, and then I remember that most characters in this game has experienced the loss of a child, so I don't know if this was a choice purposeful or Kojima just enjoys torturing his characters. Shortly after we head to Rainbow Valley, where we run into Rainey.
Thanks for coming, Sam. I'm sorry about just now. I didn't know who you were at first.
You're the picture of health, Rainey.
You too, little man.
You had some kind of a trick for dealing with timefall?
Rainey, it's been too long.
Fragile.
Can't wait to see you again.
What are we waiting for, Sam? Let's head to the DHV Magellan.
Rainey has the power to summon the rain. Not timefall, rain. In fact, the thing she touches actually returns to its original state, unlike timefall, which would cause it to wither away. It's revealed that Rainey and Fragile are really close, and honestly, their relationship is super duper cute. I wish me and the homies greeted like this. After traversing through a burning Australia, which was actually super sick, we find a kangaroo and deliver it safely back to the shelter and connect them to the chiral network. Once the ship is able to travel near the fires, Rainey uses her powers to put them out. And then comes her backstory, the girl that bought the rain. Look, full disclosure, I love Rainey as a character, but this story is so confusing. In addition to being able to control the rain, she is also pregnant. Her abilities made her a target, so her parents disowned her and townsfolk ran her out of town out of fear, calling her a witch, you know, that kind of thing. Only Rainey is actively trying to escape, or at the very least, just leave, but they still chase after her? I don't know how witch hunts work, but this seems crazy dangerous. Rainey at this point doesn't even know how to control her powers. Every time she steps outside, the rain comes. They don't know what else she's capable of, but they chase down and throw things at her, and one person even blatantly and purposefully hits her in her pregnant belly and immediately looks remorseful, which is a genuine human reaction, and no offense to this scene at all or the game's character design budget, but these guys don't even have faces. It is difficult for me to believe that a person that's chasing down someone, tossing trash and yelling obscenities, suddenly feels remorseful when blatantly hitting a pregnant woman in the belly. And when Rainey tries to defend herself, she gets a gun pointed in her face. All she ever wanted was a sense of belonging as she transitions into motherhood, but everyone's scared of her. Feeling dejected and alone, the next scene shows her standing at the edge of a bridge, and it's heavily implied that she's going to take her own life until Fragile no-clips in to convince her otherwise by offering her a job and a place on the DHG Magellan, among other people that want her for her very thing she's been cast out for. And honestly, she's a real one for that. I also love the subtle detail of Fragile's umbrella coming into play for a character named Rainey in a scene like this. That subtlety is eventually ruined when Kojima straight up writes it into the scene.
I'll be your umbrella. I'll be your umbrella. I'll be your umbrella.
The rain has been a heavy motif across both games now. We don't need it spelled out for us. Everything else about this scene was fantastic. The acting is always great, and the score is absolutely phenomenal here as well. When I was listening to it for the first time, it genuinely did something to my brain. The gang meet up again to discuss matters regarding the beach and how to restore balance to it, with Charlie even chiming in to say it could fix a still baby syndrome, which is what Rainey has, so she can't give birth until that's resolved. I get to see the skies boil and drop off some aid to an observatory to bring them onto the network, and then Tarman tells us he's pinpointed the location of the disturbance that's been disrupting the tar currents, and he hates to ask, but we have to go check it out. What follows is Sam seeing something resembling him that copies his movements in the tar before it and a bunch of tar figures suck him into a strange realm. In this strange realm, we meet a strange man, and him and his Ghost Rider buddies all file in on motorcycles, him with a bag over his head. He then removes the bag and uses it as a headband, and the only thing I could think of when I saw this is Solid Snake. I'm not saying this was purposeful, but the resemblance is absolutely uncanny. And then this strange man starts aura farming. I knew right then and there that I was cooked. You fight a couple of the skeleton dudes while trying to dodge fire through this super cool environment. You soon enter a graveyard where the strange man and these skeletons are smoking because Kojima believes that any time a character has a cigarette in their mouth, it makes them 10 times cooler. And he's kinda right. Also, this guy gets a second boss intro where they just aura farm again? I'm so cooked. This scene and fight is very similar to the fights you would have with Cliff in the first game. Only instead of World War II trenches, we have a big open graveyard for greater use of the core mechanics. Once defeating the strange man, he says something vaguely similar to the word Nirvana. And honestly, the entire interaction is weird. But before I had to process what was happening, Sam explodes. Once recovering from that, he tries to help a little girl that's crushed under some rubble, and then he explodes again. Kojima loves torturing these people. Once coming to, he and the girl, who is now wrapped in some sort of chrysalis, are back in Australia. Tarman and Fragile perform some sort of procedure on the girl, and I don't even know what to call this, but it's gross. Also, the hands around Fragile's neck are acting as a mask, and I thought that was pretty cool. The girl seems to float in her sleep whenever she has nightmares, and Dollman recalls seeing her alive in what looked like the land of the dead. Was she born there? Guess we'll have to find out. Also, Fragile decides to call her Tomorrow because no one in this game has a regular name. We make a few more deliveries and return to see her projecting the idea of shoes. Fragile says it was like pulling teeth trying to get her to take a shower, and she has a habit of sucking on her thumb similar to an infant. This little moment is ultimately inconsequential, but I really enjoy the cinematics of Tomorrow trying to adjust to real-world life. After that, we head back and forth between distro centers, retrieve a hostage from some hostiles, Metal Gear style, and return back to the ship to stop Tomorrow from escaping, with Fragile telling her it's too dangerous to go out by herself. Rainey offers her a bowl of apples, and when Tomorrow touches one, it quickly rots and withers away. She's still not talking, but she is visibly upset by everything. Later on, the ship crew get together to discuss what to do with Tomorrow. It seems like a formality because Fragile already has no plans of letting her go or somehow sending her back to where she came from, but she did have the backing of Rainey and Sam. Tomorrow overheard the entire conversation, of course, and decides to run away from the ship. Sam is tasked with tracking her down, and it was kind of fun following the footsteps all these places because it really made me think how she's doing all this. There's footsteps on the ground near some cliffs and rocks, and it all leads to a standoff between you and some ghost mechs before this happens.
Thank you.
I didn't have anywhere else to go.
Were you trying to find your way back?
I suppose you have friends and family there, waiting for you to come home?
I don't know.
Everyone there has passed on. There's no place for the living in that world.
Sometimes things are just cool, and cool is where Kojima excels. It felt kind of contrived because he just wanted to show off Tomorrow's abilities, but again, it was cool, and the scene between the two is very nice, so it cancels itself out. Tomorrow tells Sam she didn't know where else to go, implying she was seeking refuge elsewhere, which prompts Sam to remind her that where she came from is no place for a living person, and she is more than welcome to continue staying on the DHV Magellan. When they return, Fragile offers her an actual position aboard the ship, and Rainey gives her a ring terminal, which means she's a part of the team, before Fragile officially welcomes her to Drawbridge. Sam stands there in silence like a weirdo, and not long after this, we finally get to see Hartman again. Dude, when Hartman turned around and I saw those heart-shaped frames, I couldn't help but smile from ear to ear, because that's so on the nose, even for Kojima. I don't even think he wears these glasses after this scene, which means he put these on because he knew we were coming over. Does every character in this game have to auraform before speaking to you? Hartman gets a pass because he's one of my favorite characters. He has this new support unit that holds him upright no matter where he flatlines, which seems like a solid improvement for a sequel. He also has someone living in the walls who does research on his tears, and she sounds really sick. A fun thing I found is that once the scene ends and Hartman reveals the lab to be VR, if you head back to the little hole in the wall, the woman will vomit. I don't know why you'd want to see that, but it's a cool little optional thing if you're paying attention. Hartman also now wheels around a mysterious piece of luggage that definitely won't be important later. When they reconvene on the ship, Fragile is smoking a cigarette, so she can look cool, and Hartman is waiting there to tell us, not Sam, us, a whole bunch of nothing. He just straight up starts telling us what BBs are, and we're about to enter episode 7. I'm like 15 hours in, and oh yeah, it's the second game. I can't be too mad at this though. Refreshing the player's memory is always good, but in episode 7, a silver lining about this is that he uses the new dialogue feature here to give players the option to skip any more exposition. He plants the seeds that transitions us to the next episode, this time with an emphasis on Lou and the mysterious case of the missing bridge baby. Also, when Hartman flatlines, he still manages to give us a like. I cannot stress enough how happy I am that Hartman as a character even exists. We fight some hostiles, make delivery to the pizza chef and the data scientist, and the first time I went there, I had a you see that wire situation, because on the way to the data scientist, I didn't know there were mines around, so I could potentially ruin all the cargo. But thankfully I was driving, and it did only slight to moderate damage. Thank you so much for listening to my sob story. I'll take a like on the video as a present for my pity party. Also, the data scientist is like an anime waifu girl with a whole VTuber setup. After connecting her, we head back to the ship and rest up a bit, and then when we try to leave the ship, Rainey stops us, which actually threw me off guard, and asks us a question so she can teach Tomorrow a few things. Then some weird questions about the cycle of life comes up, and the correct answer is platypus egg, but since I was so confused, I got the question wrong and had to restart until I got it correct. These happen a few more times, and they get stranger every time. I don't mind them. It just annoyed me that I had to keep going because I forgot to read the question. We're instructed to head to some place called the Motherhood after taking out and retrieving some cargo from some hostiles. When we arrive, Sam is greeted by 2 bald women pointing assault rifles at his huge head.
It's all right. They don't mean us any harm. You must be Sam. Thank you. Couldn't have been easy getting here. Folks call me the doctor. My sisters and I don't normally allow men inside, but for patients we make an exception. It's clear you suffered greatly for this child's sake. Haven't you? May I, Sam?
Yeah.
Oh, these. They're chiral hands. So your BB's passed on.
You have dooms then, I take it.
I do. And it's given me an unusual gift. I can remove a BB from a still mother's womb without resorting to invasive surgery, and safely place it in a pod with minimal distress to the fetus.
Without using any tools whatsoever? So you're a psychic surgeon then?
A psychic midwife is what they call me. When I was with Bridges, I used these techniques to remove BBs from their mothers. Sam, you may be suffering from persistent, complex bereavement disorder.
Is that why you called me here? To tell me I got issues?
Sam, we're the motherhood.
The what now?
This psychic midwife with the weird hands is called the Doctor, because she's a doctor. Also, Sam intentionally went to a place called the Motherhood, so why was he so shocked by the Doctor telling him that's who they are? I could be reading too deep into this scene, but I am surprised Sam is still giving them the time, considering he's already proven he's not a threat. But these women still feel the need to point guns at him. I know he can't die, but the whole thing seems unnecessarily hostile. But jokes aside, the Doctor is a very compelling character with a rather compelling story that could have been told without her breaking down like this.
Over time, I tried to refine the pod tech to find a way to help women and their children. But treatment and life extension are impossible. All I could do was look. Even so, word got around and mothers in need of support started coming here. But unfortunately, not long after, men came knocking too. Men who wanted women. What could I do? I was only a doctor who delivered babies. And nothing more. Luckily, I had strong women around me. Mothers who were willing to stand up and fight for the sake of us all.
And then afterwards, they asked Sam to stop some hostiles from a nearby area from shipping weapons back and forth, which I kind of half expected. Everybody in this game needs some kind of help from Sam. He's apparently the only person that can do anything. Only they asked for this favor after aiming guns at his face, telling him he has issues after his kid just died. And before he leaves, the Doctor just straight up and without consent sticks one of her hands into Sam's body to remove a bullet after she explicitly said the only thing she knows how to do is remove babies. Absolutely bizarre. Once we leave, Tarman informs us of some weapon fabrication facilities outside the bounds of the chiral network to go check out. We take a ring terminal expansion device and a couple of weapons, and once arriving, we're greeted by some more ghost mechs similar to the ones Tomorrow absolutely annihilated in the last episode. We take most of them out, but once entering the warehouse, Sam is easily overwhelmed, and it's no secret who's behind this. Bro, this is our third time seeing Higgs, and this dude is just now getting his intro. He strums a guitar while singing the first verse of BB's theme. BB's theme acted as kind of a musical motif that you'd hear often in the first game, on top of being objectively one of the best songs on the soundtrack. But when Higgs sings it, it's like the song loses all meaning. And although I'm a huge fan of this moment thematically, there's no reason for Higgs to be doing this other than to taunt Sam and aura farm.
Let that yawn out. There's no pretending. I will hold you and protect you. So let love warm you till the morning. you miss me?
Hell no.
Yeah, I figured you'd pay this place a visit, seeing as how I've been distributing the fruits of this fine factory all over the continent. With guns and violence, the whole damn world could be yours. Same as it ever was. Oh. Looks like you decided to trade in that rope for a stick this go-round. Well, I suppose even a porter has to pull the trigger from time to time. Oh, what about you? Hey, buddy. Are you just another soulless little husk, huh?
Let go of me!
Oh.
Pathetic guitarist. Where's the rest of your band?
Well, ain't that something?
Was it you, Higgs? Huh? Was it you that killed Lou?
You still don't know, do you? Sam the man in the dark about everything.
Fuck you know about my kid?
If you want answers, you're gonna have to find them yourself. But the ones you do find, well, that pain you nurse will only get worse. Now, I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of that fancy boat your friends brought along, so before they show up, how about I get a little taste of that endless agony? Hmm? Something special just for you. Look at that rope you like so much. This here, my guts. And they'll grow tighter over time. You best believe they will pop your head clean off. But you are repatriate, meaning you'll just keep coming back. Only for my boys here to keep doing their thing over and over again. So you'll just die and die and keep on dying for all eternity.
Sam!
Yeah. Really is a shame you won't stay dead. But hey, locking you in a cycle of endless suffering, well, that's good too. So let's let the glorious game over loop begin. The fuck?
Yeah, Big Red. Just you and me dance, huh?
Sorry, Sam. We'll have to have our fun another time. Hey, who the hell are you?
Okay, this scene is such a fever dream. Higgs having a sword fight with what Dollman called a red behemoth wasn't a huge shock to me because this is one of the scenes used in promotional material, but it's still so cool. I'm also sure we won't see that red behemoth again, like, at all for the rest of the game, so, yeah. Back at the DHV Magellan, Rainey is showing Tomorrow, a Japanese children's game where you kick off your shoes to predict the weather. I was able to find very little information about the actual game they're referring to. Granted, I didn't look very hard. I love the developing relationship between Rainey and Tomorrow. It's especially sweet when you remember Rainey is stuck in a pregnancy limbo where she can't have her kid yet. And since Tomorrow came to the land of living a few days ago, it's kind of like raising a kid. Also, Sam tries to kick off his shoe to play the game, but he's just kicking his legs when he clearly saw that Rainey had to pull her boot down to kick it off. Why would you want to kick your boot off now anyway? The game is... Okay, dude. After resting, before heading off on your next order, Rainey stops you for another question. Today's subject? Geometry. Absolutely riveting gameplay. We go retrieve a coffin and fight past some baddies to get to it. Once we deliver it, we get a camera for being a great porter, and soon we're using that same camera to take pictures of Fragile, Tomorrow, and Rainey. Now, I gotta say, I really enjoy this part of the game, and large part due to how crazy good all of their models look. I still mark out crazy for this kind of realism in video games, like how expressive their faces are. They aren't just smiling and waving, they're posing, pursing their lips, winking their eyes, and just the way the flesh moves over the bone. I had to remind myself I was playing a game. It looks so good. There's actually a brief intermission shortly before episode 8, which sees shots of all the crew sleeping, which made me think Kojima was going to jump scare me. But the most we get from this scene is Fragile having a nightmare mumbling in her sleep, and Charlie overhearing it.
Because I'm free, nothing's worrying me.
Why this had to be an intermission, I have no idea. After that, our next order is a world away all the way at the F4 distribution center, where we take life support systems. Once dropping it off, Tarman tells us again that there is yet another disruption in the tar currents.
There?
Well, that's not an invitation.
I love how Sam grabs him and then immediately regrets it. If he still had aphanphosphobia, this wouldn't be an issue. We get taken against our will back to Nirvana again, this time underwater. Snake, the strange man gets 5 more minutes of uninterrupted ore farming, and when we come to, we get to navigate this realm, this time underwater. I've made a lot of jokes in this video, but this is honestly one of the coolest parts of the game and definitely one of my favorite environments. We find the strange man and his goons ore farming again, and you fight. More or less the same as the first one, but now you're underwater, meaning you can jump higher, and it looks really cool. Once defeating the man, Sam hears the crying of a baby nearby, and when he goes to check, he explodes again. Dude, I know Sam can't die, but he can still feel pain. Cutscenes explosions have real consequences. They come to out of the strange realm, and Tarman says they only lost communication for a few seconds, implying that time moves differently in Nirvana, similar to how it did in the strange realm of the first game. Meanwhile, back in the DHV Magellan, the gang discussed this strange man.
His name is Neil. Neil Vanna.
Neil Vanna? Oh, here I thought he said Nirvana. There must still be tar in my ears.
It seems that the ID card you brought back belonged to the man himself. Charlie helped me dig up the details.
The card was issued by Bridges years ago, when the chiral network was still being developed. Records confirm that Vanna has been dead for some time.
So he was a member of Bridges?
No, it doesn't look like he was.
Vanna was a porter contracted by Bridges to handle jobs with special requirements. Like all of you, he was a doom sufferer who leveraged his abilities.
A top-notch porter by all accounts. He worked the Mexican border. Brought over all kinds of useful stuff.
Ostensibly, resources and medical supplies. But in truth, he transported drugs and other prohibited goods.
So he was a smuggler.
Vanna's ID card served as a key to some of Bridges' secure installations, though only a select few, of course. Specifically, those dedicated to the BB experiments, along with various other medical facilities.
I believe that the place you went to for counseling was one of them.
But everything in that area was obliterated 11 years ago by a void out, one in which Neil Vanna died. And from which you alone, Sam, were fortunate enough to emerge alive.
Neil Vanna. That's what he was trying to say. Not Nirvana, a former porter and member of Bridges who's been dead a very long time. Charlie says that both Neil and Sam frequented the same places, but Sam has no recollection of him, and I'm just going to assume that that's the end of that arc. When we leave the ship again, we see Tomorrow sitting on the staircase, attempting to eat an apple without having it wither away, but to no avail. We take on some more deliveries, eventually winding up at the F5 East Distro Center and bring them to the network. When boarding the Magellan after that, we get to a scene where Tomorrow is now surrounded by rotten, withered apples, except for the one in her hand that she gives to Sam. How sweet. Fragile briefs us on our next order, this one being to go destroy the machines that create ghost mechs. It isn't a difficult task, but the ghost mechs did put up a fight, but even they are no match for Sam the Man. We eventually make our way up to the snowy mountains, and I can only imagine Kojima modeled this environment after hell, because boy did these snowy mountains give me a run for my money. We find the adventurer unconscious and taken back to his son, and in return they link up to the chiral network. Back aboard the ship, we get another scene of Tomorrow surrounded by apples, and none of them are withered. The implication being that she's gotten better at controlling her abilities. But she didn't give us one this time, so... Later that night, Hartman is being the biggest weirdo that ever lived. I knew Kojima couldn't go this whole game without playing on the element of horror.
Hey, Sam. Long time no see. It's me, your old pal, Dead Man.
Dead Man?
Sorry if I gave you a scare. While Hartman is off conducting his near-death excursions, I am borrowing his body. My soul is normally confined to the beach, but for 3 minutes, I get to be here.
How's that possible?
Because he has my heart.
You're telling me that's...
My parting gift to Hartman, yes. Per his request, I bequeathed it before departing on my one-way trip to the beach. He put so much stress on his own that it had grown quite weak. If and when it failed, mine was meant to serve as insurance. But as you can see, he appears to have become rather attached to my heart. His finger never far from the proverbial on switch, which is why I've been able to assume control of his body. Come here. It's good to see you, Sam. I told you in Mexico that someone had falsified BB-28's records. But in truth, it was yours truly. My intention was to leave no trace of a second BB-28 or of Lou. I wanted you to be free to live your lives, unburdened by the past. But then, well, everything changed, didn't it? You lost Lou and needed answers to make sense of it all. So, I decided to access the network servers from within the beach. Security isn't as strict over there as it is here, you see.
So that was you?
That's right. I am the one who dug up the information about Lou's past. Your very own Hartman was me all along.
Administering shock. Stand clear.
Sam? What's going on? And where are we?
Sam. Poor Hartman here is understandably confused. If you give us a moment alone, I'll explain things to him.
So Deadman sometimes borrows Hartman's body during this time on the beach. Cool. No, genuinely, I have no joke. After earlier in the game, I thought that was it for Deadman, honestly. The luggage Hartman has been carrying around has been Deadman's heart this whole time. But when Hartman comes to, he has no idea how he got there, which brings up a few more questions that Dahlman and Hartman discuss amongst themselves. Shortly after, we make our way to the observatory, which is higher up in the mountains and starts to affect Sam's oxygen levels, so once putting them on the network, you get a slick-looking oxygen mask that I wish had more uses other than on the mountain. We go back to the Magellan, and from there we head back to the Motherhood because Rainey has an appointment with the doctor.
Close your eyes. It's okay. You can trust me. It's a healthy baby girl. She's beautiful. She certainly is. Okay, coming up on 3 minutes. Someone needs to go home.
Waves?
Yes, they are. Your womb is connected to a beach. Now, open your eyes. Rainey, the child you're carrying is not dead. It's just that time has stopped in your womb. Your daughter and her mother are in perfect health.
When the doctor pulled the baby out of her, it felt like something I wasn't supposed to see. But I'm glad Rainey's baby is doing okay.
Sorry, but would it be alright if I took another look at your pod?
Give me 1 second.
Okay, I'll head back first.
The thing is, when I did my examination on your pod, I got the strangest feeling. The BB in that pod was there far longer than any typical BB. I'd like to check your pod's production number. If it's an official model, it'll have one inscribed on it.
I can tell you right now, there's no number written on it.
No, it wouldn't be on the outside. It would be inscribed on the inner wall. Now, you can't open a pod without endangering the BB's life, but there is a way that we can peek inside. See? Right there. See, a pod's production number is a record of when the occupant was transferred from the still mother's womb. Sort of like a BB's date of birth.
Impossible. 11 years ago. On the very same day as the Void Out.
Lou's date of birth was 11 years ago.
And not just that, the serial number is BB00, which would make Lou one of the first test subjects.
Yeah, that would appear to be the case, yes.
If we scour the archives for any mention of BB00, there's a chance we might learn more about Lou's past.
You really should try and put this behind you. And digging up the past won't help.
The revelation that our BB was BB00 and not BB number 8 is an interesting one because it's not like the game isn't building up to this. Everyone was being so cryptic, and of all people to inform me of this, it's Miss Chiral Hands? Yeah, okay. Back on the ship, Rainey and Tomorrow seem to be collecting inventory and talking about babies.
In the place where I came from, no one gave birth to babies. They just stayed inside their mother's bellies.
Well, in our world, babies are born and grow up to be adults. Or at least they're supposed to.
It's only natural that Tomorrow wouldn't understand. After all, she was living in a realm of the dead. I wouldn't expect children to be born into such a place.
But Rainey's baby will be born, right?
In due time, of course. Isn't that so?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Raindrops are falling on my head. And just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit.
Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun.
Raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. We meet the crew at the bridge of the ship, and Fragile tells us it won't be long before all of Australia is on the network. Tarman takes the Magellan into the tar, and it isn't long before there's a disruption in the currents with them in it, causing them to surface prematurely, and you aren't going to believe who's behind it.
Hold it. Hardly a repatriate, but I'm immortal enough. Damn. When'd you start rolling with such a big crew, Sam? Settle. Unless you want me to blow her head off. soaked hide of yours, huh? You know I'm only here to get revenge on you and Sam. The rest of y'all I really have no quarrel with, so, you know, you let me keep the two of them and y'all can fuck off. No? All want to die together. Except for the fact Sam's a repatriate, so can't really share in your sad fate. But before I pop him, he gets to watch me kill all y'all.
In addition to Tomorrow being an absolute badass and Fragile's neckhands punching Higgs in the face, this mech fight was super sick and felt like it had more stakes since Higgs managed to compromise our safe house. We come out alive for the most part. Tarman lost his hand in the scuffle, and there's a cute scene where Tomorrow brings Tarman his cat while holding Rainey's hand like a child. Then the girls leave to pick up materials to repair the Magellan.
Are you excited to head out? So excited. She's here. Oh, there's Fragile.
Okay. Let's get going.
Hey, be safe out there.
Thank you.
What if you run into trouble on the way?
We'll be fine. Remember, you're talking to the former head of Fragile Express.
You two be all right?
We all have dooms. No need to worry about us.
And we're tougher than you, too.
Right. So watch yourself out there.
Take care of each other.
This was an oddly emotional scene for me, even though I know they aren't leaving for good. They're just like making a quick Home Depot run. With everyone pulling their weight, there's still places to connect to the chiral network, and there's only a few more to go. We recover some stranded cargo and swing by another observatory to put them on the network. But it didn't mean much with the tar disturbance putting everything in limbo, so we gotta wait a while for the next major order.
Uh-oh, Itaga!
know, truth be told, I don't really care if you and your crew link up the continent or not.
Sam!
Because I'm here just for one reason.
Sam, get up!
And that's to make you suffer. Can't kill a repatriate for good. But boy, you're about to learn. There's far worse things than dying. So, let's kick it off with some pain.
This scene actually goes on for a while, with Sam dying and coming back to life a good amount before anything else significant happens. This scene was also pretty scary. I mean, Higgs has had us cornered before, but now he got to jump on us, and he really stands on business. I didn't know what to expect, and it definitely wasn't this. Hands down, my favorite scene in the game so far. When I got done recording this part, I couldn't help but go look at it over and over and over. Again, Kojima knows when things are just cool. Having all three of the girls come back right when Sam needs to be saved is video game convenience at its finest, but like I said, if it's cool, it's fine.
Death and resurrection. Before his head is completely incinerated, he returns to us. His body is restored for only to be burned again. Don't. Even if you speed up time, the flames won't die. Come on, Sam. Come on. I don't know what to do.
Dude, absolute cinema. Just the way Sam reaches out to hug Tomorrow, he's really come a long way. I am so proud of my boy. After getting some rest back on the ship, Sam comes to the shocking revelation that Lou has never been with us. For the past 40 hours, Lou is just a figment of his imagination from his PTSD. This would explain all of the cryptic things some of the other characters have been saying in regards to Lou and Sam's mental state.
Something wrong?
Lou's not looking right in there.
Here, show me.
What do you think? It's almost like Lou's fading away.
Is that so? And I'd say we're making progress.
I don't understand.
She asked me to help.
What?
Before we set out on our journey together, Fragile, she asked me to help you. To act as your therapist so that you could process the loss of your child. Sam, hear me out. Lou's been gone for a long, long time now.
No. Lou's right here. We just traveled across Australia together. I'll show you.
The pod you brought on this journey has been empty from the start. The truth is, I'm the one who's been operating your Odra deck. And it's because of that connection that I was able to share your flashbacks.
Hey, Sam. Can you take a picture of us?
Do you see? Nothing has changed. The pod has always been empty. We decided not to dispute what you said you saw, but to give you the support you needed instead. In this way, we believed we could help you come to terms with Lou's death.
Wait, what do you mean Lou's death? What are you talking about?
Please understand, Sam. We never meant to string you along.
Fragile was only worried about you.
I couldn't stand to leave you there, broken. I wanted you to live, to move forward.
So from the beginning, Lou was never there? I've been alone this whole time.
You're wrong. Death can tear us apart. We'll always be connected.
No, we won't. Lou's gone. And that's that.
Trust me, Sam. We will always be with you, no matter what. You will never, ever be alone.
After the dust has settled and Sam had time to lament, we hop back in the saddle to make a long cross-country trip to the F7 North Distro Center to drop off a stabilizer and connect them to the network. Once we do that, you wouldn't believe that this happens, but there's a disruption in the tar currents. Sam gets sucked in by the tar once again, and we're taken to the strange realm to fight Neil, one last time. Only this time, instead of being in some cemetery underwater, we're in a subway station? Neil gets another 5 minutes to aura form, and it's revealed this map realm obeys different laws of gravity. This fight is undoubtedly the most intense, with Neil and his goons being able to hang from ceilings and the environment shifting around you due to the gravity gimmick. Once Neil realizes that he was defeated, he makes a run to one subway cars and reminisces to a time when he was younger in a place similar to the first strange realm, hurt and confused, crying for his mother.
Let's go.
Then a really cool set piece happens where Sam chases Neil through and on top of the scaling subway cars before the final stage of the fight. No goons, just Sam and Neil. Once defeating him, we take a peek into Neil's memory and... oh boy.
What? Are you Sam? What, Sam? Sam! I'm so sorry. I tried to protect him. I'm sorry. From Lucy. For you.
keep Lou safe.
Welcome. Have a seat. Over here, please. No smoking, please. So you are Neil Varner.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? For living?
I'm a porter.
So thank you. We're good for the day.
Okay. Thanks.
Neil.
What?
So you made it then?
Sorry.
You really don't remember me.
The girl. You're alive. Stop! 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 Stop!
They're off. Just you and me. You, sir, are an unrepentant criminal. Guilty of illegally entering our country on multiple occasions.
The only thing that I'm guilty of is doing your dirty work.
And by way of compensation, we have overlooked your crimes.
Thank you.
If you refuse, there will be severe repercussions.
Bring it on, because I'm not doing this shit anymore.
But what makes you think you have a choice? Neil? You understand me? Neil? Neil! You're going to do this job, Neil.
What's wrong?
I need to get out. This porter work is killing me. It's fucking killing me. What I've done is so wrong.
You can talk to me, Neil. What kind of cargo have they got you carrying?
No.
This is a safe space. You're not recorded. What kind of cargo?
Carglite. Brain dead. Pregnant women.
No one would possibly allow that.
That's why I have to smuggle them in. They make me bring them over from Mexico. Raw material for human sacrifice.
Okay. Neil, take a deep breath. Neil, listen, breathe. Try to count.
I can't do this anymore.
Breathe. With me. 1.
Ooh. You're wearing my scarf. What?
There's this car. I think someone's been watching me.
Do you mind this car?
Yeah, that's the car.
I'm pretty sure it's a security vehicle. I'll check on it. Now look. Look here.
Stop it. Be sure to delete all those.
Yeah. See?
So it seems that he's the father. The baby's zodiac sign will be Cancer. Assuming the due date's correct.
How sure are you?
This thing between us. It was a mistake.
No. No, it was not a mistake. It was not a mistake.
We just got...
Look at me.
We got caught up in our emotions. We weren't thinking straight, that's all.
It was not a mistake. I don't care if it's his baby you're carrying. Lucy, I love you.
I love him, Neil. Which means this has to end. I'm sorry.
Aw, man. Dude, what Bridges put Neil through is absolutely disgusting. Also, him and the little girl he left to die, both ending up at Bridges, isn't too far-fetched considering the state of the world. But this also explains why, despite working at the same place, he has no recollection of ever meeting Neil. We leave the realm, and Dahlman straight up says we won't see Neil again, so I guess that's that. He does give us a little trinket on our way out, so who knows? Once back aboard the Magellan, Charlie straight up says,
Damn, we're in the end game now.
Very subtle, Kojima.
Once we link up this last node, we'll have succeeded in bringing the Australian continent into the Cairo network. Our defenses will be stronger than ever, and we'll be able to get rid of those ghost mechs for good. So, let's do what we came here to do.
All right.
Wait.
Yeah.
Don't forget. coming on this expedition was meant to help you find the strength to carry on. And you have. We all know you've got this. Now it's time to finish the journey, Sam.
That last part felt more like she was talking to us than Sam, but nevertheless, let's get into one of my favorite sequences. So before connecting the F8 Distro Center, which is the final one, you have to connect 2 way stations on your route there while avoiding ghost mechs, fire, and other hazards, all while a little help from everyone on board the Magellan, and it is so fun. The cool factor gets amplified once you make it to the bridge that connects to the final terminal. There we find ghost mechs and another giant ghost mech kaiju fight. Even cooler, before that, the red behemoth from earlier returns to slice the bridge in half to keep the bad guys away, and it's revealed to be Deadman, and it's a super sick scene, albeit a little disturbing. When we connect the final node to the chiral network, Higgs returns to torment us, and Fragile shows us exactly why this episode is named after her.
Our hero finally linked up the whole damn company. You know, I'd say this is a happy ending, but our story ain't over yet. Sadly, we won't be having ourselves a boss battle this time. There's just no point in it. You see, y'all can't win.
Sorry, but you are long past your prime.
Hello, beautiful.
Your damaged goods.
Tell me, does it still hurt? Memory of what I did. It does, doesn't it?
Go on. It won't work, but be my guest. Still as stubborn as ever.
Oh, and by the way, Sam, it was me who killed Lou. Kinda tickles. Your thirst for revenge will never be satisfied.
Enough. I'm putting you down.
I'll take the damage and the cuts. I don't break that easy.
What?
I'll take the damage and the goods. I don't break that easy. I'll take the damage and the goods. I don't break that easy. Take the damage and the goods. I don't break that easy. I'll take the damage and the goods. I don't break that easy. I'll take the damage and the goods. I don't break that easy.
Once back on the DSU Magellan, I guess everything is just coming out now.
Glad you could make it, Sam. We wanted to thank you for everything you've done. And what better time than now, after you've connected the entirety of Australia and bridged the gap between continents. By extending the proverbial rope, which is the chiral network, to another landmass, we have united them in the Chiroverse. A world divided, made whole, with a few sticks for encouragement. Empowering Higgs was a necessary step. It was we, you see, who built his ghost mech army for him, to use as he deemed fit.
What the hell are you talking about?
An existential threat was required to prompt you to seek strength through mutual connections. It was also necessary for APAC to equip you with sticks of your own. After all, we are incapable of murder.
Who's Wayne? Wait. Don't tell me. You're not human, are you?
Higgs served as a complement to an all-encompassing algorithm. However, this world no longer has need of sticks. Henceforth, we will search for additional plate gates, then extend our reach to new continents.
Oh yeah? What then?
With the support of the chiral network and APAS, humanity will be free from the need to move around, and free from the need for porters. Bots are capable of handling deliveries. By eliminating the risk of running into BTs during travel, you will have finally overcome the Death Stranding. This is the Zero Void Out policy. To understand how we reached this solution, we must first explain the true nature of the Death Stranding, as determined by APAS. Well, Sam.
Dude, this president sucks. Apex sucks. The Death Stranding sucks. These people don't believe in anything. When he asked me if I wanted to know the truth, I told him no, and I don't care what this dude says. Bridget was a way more interesting president than this dude, and she died 2 chapters into the first game. He takes us to this beach with a bunch of servers full of deceased people and says a whole bunch of nothing about APAC this, APAC that, and then... Okay. The strangest thing happened.
As caretakers, we will regulate the activity of other species to ensure that none claim your mantle of apex predator. Humanity will be free to thrive in perpetuity, having evolved into a form that allows you to escape extinction, as is your desire.
No.
I'm not about to let that happen.
See the sunset, the day is ending. Let that yawn now. There's no pretending. I will hold you and protect you. So let love warm you till the morning. Good God. I'll stay with you by your side. Close your tired eyes. I'll wait, and soon I'll see your smile in our dream.
Yo, I kid you not. The moment I saw this scene, I gave this game a standing ovation. The credits could have rolled right after this, and I would have been satisfied. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would see iRobot Die Hardman do what he just did.
Where are you? Since you certainly aren't on our beach.
Me? I'm right here.
It's me, Sam. Alive and kicking. No, I'm not called Die Hardman for nothing.
Die Hardman has been on the ship this whole time? No.
I take it not even APAS was aware that I've been posing as Charlie this whole time. It's funny, don't you think? The fact is, APAS has never had complete access to Drawbridge's data. Our new Cupid design allows us to restrict connection and limit the flow of information. I oversaw the creation of the Drawbridge prototype during my time as director of bridges. And that's when I contacted my old friend, Tarman. And together, we worked to convert this deep tar hunting vessel into a mobile base of operations. Now, I dare say there are some among you who already deduced the name's double meaning. That's right. The DHV Magellan. Or to spell it out, Die Hardman's vessel.
Spell it out for us? I knew something was up when everyone couldn't stop saying it. Jokes aside, it's good to see Die Hardman here, especially in lieu of the president talking a whole bunch of nothing.
The purpose of this Cupid was not just to facilitate connections, but to sever them. Namely, the ones between our systems and the dead. And without their influence, APAS will go back to being a tool.
Do this, and you will never escape the Death Stranding.
To forsake our flesh and our freedom is out of the question. So, we'll seek out others who value them as we do. Build communities, raise children, live, and love. We would rather strive to achieve the impossible while remaining true to ourselves. To struggle on against the odds in search of new lands and new worlds. You can't we? The chiral network enables us to travel like never before. So, humanity will continue to make use of APAS and embrace the true potential of the chiral network. No one wants to go back to the dark days that followed the Death Stranding.
It's true, what you said about travel. There are people with dunes who can use the beach to jump just about anywhere.
The physical sensation of movement is something we all crave. That unity of body and soul. Dunes may still wind up being an evolutionary dead end. But even in that possibility, I see hope. Now I am going to activate the Cupid we used to connect the continents. To build a bridge to the future we want to see, to choose our own path forward.
I mean, it makes sense. Can't have the former president going around shouting down with APAC. They even managed to work locked into the story, which is also very appreciated. I don't really understand the story behind the whole Charlie thing or why Dar Herdman is dressed like this. All I know for sure is that everything that transpired in the last 10 minutes can only exist in the world of Death Stranding. Our reunion is cut short by Higgs disguising himself as the red behemoth that Deadman was in earlier.
That's not me!
What the fuck?
Higgs.
Broadcasting live from the beach.
Tomorrow is an extinction entity, and that's not all.
Your genes lined up beautifully. God damn, man. She's your daughter.
What?
I can't really articulate why, but I was super bummed I didn't sniff that out before Higgs said it. In hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. It actually seemed like most people knew except Sam. This mystery about Blue being replaced and spared, like some Bridges conspiracy, knowing what happened to Cliff's BB at the end of the first game, and seeing what happened to Fragile and Lou in the beginning, well, the clues were so generously laid out. Higgs just kidnapped our girl. Now we gotta go back to the beach to get her. The crew has trouble accurately pinpointing Higgs's beach, but that's when Fragile remembers they just need something with a connection strong enough to link to that particular beach, and it could be found back at Sam's shelter. On our way back to Mexico, Tarman tells us there's something wrong with the tar currents because, of course, there's something always wrong with the tar currents. But this reason is a bit bigger than I expected. Also, something I forgot to mention is before getting here, Drawbridge made me the guitar weapon similar to his for the fight on the beach with him. I neglected to use it on this huge boss, but I think you can, and you can see it hanging from my back in the footage I think I put in the background. After an incredibly fun fight, we head back to Sam's shelter to find an object of great significance and connection to the beach, eventually settling on a photo with Sam, Bridget, and someone with their face blurred out. This photo used to be with Sam all the time on his person in the first game. I never really brought it up in the first half of this video, but it's also shown in the opening cave scene he does with Fragile. This part of the game is also significant because as Sam navigates around his shelter, reliving moments with Lou, the house is shown to be in good condition. However, when you're done, it goes back to its tattered state from the beginning of the game, which Sam neglected to clean due to his depression from losing Lou. I really enjoy that subversion because even I was confused for a second how nice the place looks considering Sam been gone a long time. This next scene is genuinely unbelievable. So, the crew aboard the Magellan all strap in to make their way to the beach to stop Higgs and take back Tomorrow. They do so by really locking in and focusing their powers. We get a scene similar to in the first game when the crew all gathered around to help Fragile send you off to the beach. Only this time, everyone is here. A really cool detail about this scene are Mama and Lochna being placed one on top of another rather than two separate people, after Lochna and Mama basically became one person during the events of the first game. Others that aren't on the Magellan include Deadman and Dollman's physical body, which I haven't shown up to this point, but I'll circle back to that. They soon arrive after popping out of BB's mouth, and once arriving it's clear that this is no regular beach, and it's when we got there where I started to prepare myself. Because even after 50 hours of playtime, I just know Kojima has some more tricks up his sleeve.
Battle stations. Charlie, activate battle mode. Release strand cords. Deploy cannons. Screens, activate. Okay. Ready to give them hell?
Chills. They drop Sam off on land and the rest of the crew take the Magellan to go fight off these giant flying BTs while you run alongside the beach watching. And there's so much happening where it's cool, but it's also a little overstimulating. Tarman does his best to evade some giant BTs that formed, as well as Die Hardman doing his best to keep the bad guys away. But they eventually get caught by one, and then Hartman and Deadman come to the rescue.
It's got us! Leave it to us. Can you handle it? Quickly, we need to take out its head.
I think it stopped. Wait.
Dead man.
That's right. Everyone, hold on tight. DHB Magellan. Integrate.
I was begging Hartman to not give me a thumbs up. That made me so mad, but I also loved it so much because, again, that type of thing can only exist in a game like this. Shortly after that, we're back fighting and running for our life. The objective is still the same. Stop Higgs, save tomorrow. I decided to just run past these exploding dudes instead of fighting or using the guitar weapon. The Magellan crew is going straight beast mode on the BTs, and just when I think I'm there, I get stopped by the sub-boss, a taller ghost mech with a katana. The fight itself was easy enough, and shortly after, we run into Higgs.
Well, let's just say I've died on the beach before. You of all people should understand. The loneliness. Tens of thousands of years just wandering. Without you. Fragile. Amelie. Anyone. Fucking take it. Just when I finally had embraced oblivion. These dead folks right here. Up and called me back. 4,000 poor bastards who join with APAS in a convergence. To them, I was another ghost. Just another lingering soul. Well, with so much in common, they thought I should team up with their little company. And me being me, I played along. All the while. I was working towards my own personal goal.
No, I get it. Is that really what you want?
Oh, yeah. To bring about the last stranding. But for real this time.
Troy Baker, ladies and gentlemen. I have played and talked about dozens of games he's appeared in, but it's so clear in this performance alone that he absolutely adores playing this character and working with Kojima. For a game that is mostly cutscenes you sometimes want to skip, when Higgs is on screen, you don't want the scene to stop. What ensues is a multi-phase final boss fight with Higgs, with the beginning being a guitar 1v1 Metal Gear style fight on the beach. Higgs reveals tomorrow to us, revealing the Last Stranding has seemingly already begun. Not one to give up, Sam stands tall, and Higgs splits the guitar like a wishbone and starts dual wielding them with Street Fighter style health bars appearing at the top of the screen. But that's not all.
Let's rock out. One last.
Not only can you fight better than Higgs, but you can shred better. And as much as he tries to test his resolve, Sam ultimately is a fighter, especially for the ones that he loves. The two grow more and more tired as the fight drags on. Each hit felt heavier than the last. This phase feels very reminiscent of their first fight in the first game, only this time, they have guitars. Sam pushes back with everything he has until Higgs finally gives in.
See the sunset. The day is ending. Let that yawn out. There's no pretending. I will hold you and protect you. So let love warm you till the morning.
Higgs singing BB's theme to this giant loot isn't something I had on my DS2 bingo card at all, and this scene was an absolutely wild subversion from what I thought was about to be The Last Stranding. The surrounding BTs all perish. Lou gives Sam a thumbs up before flying away to the ominous hole in the sky before the opening sequence starts again? 50 hours in, only this time it's to BB's theme, which mirrors the end of the first game. Once we make it down, we find Tomorrow and take her back to the ship.
Lou?
you're right.
Unconscious, but unharmed. Sam. Listen. Fragile.
Fragile's dead, Sam. Truth is, she's been dead for some time. While you were away, searching for that photo, Fragile contacted me. Came clean about the whole thing. It happened back when she tried to jump Lou to safety. And she was in that space between the world of the living and the dead. And Higgs shot her.
As you know, the flow of time is different in our two worlds.
On the other side, Fragile's death was a tragedy that had already come to pass. On this side, however, her physical form still endured, if only for a while. Its end yet to arrive.
Fragile knew what the future had in store for her, and what she wanted to do with the time she had left. You were the one person she asked me not to tell, Sam. The only one.
Fragile has been dead since the beginning of the game? I gotta say, I wasn't expecting to be as moved by this as I was. The scene where Sam has to excuse himself to just fall on his knees and cry was so simple, but it was a great touch. On our way back from the beach, we get more Neil's story.
Thank you for coming.
You said it's urgent, so tell me, I don't have much time.
They're after my child. They want Lou for themselves. Bridges has plans. And everything hinges on using Lou as a sacrificial BB. Because they need a child of a repatriate. But I won't let them have my baby. We need to tell everyone that you are the father.
But I'm not. I want you to stop playing with me. Please.
Neil, please. Help me keep Lou safe. Thank you.
You should run to Mexico. There's a bunch of routes only people like me know. And I have a couple of friends down there that can help us out. But we need to move quick. Next week, no later. Okay? I will come back and pick you up here.
Neil.
What?
This contains everything. I want you to hold on to it for me.
Let's go.
Just a moment.
Just leave it. Everything we need is in the car. to make it more romantic. Don't worry.
Okay. Mexico's waiting. He's a patient of mine. Thank you. Let me double check. Should work.
Thank you, guys. That's impressive.
Hold it! Don't move! Don't move!
You had to know. We'd never let you leave. You're carrying the child of a repatriate, after all. A test subject of incalculable value.
Gun! Put it down! Put it down!
No.
You're wrong, because that's my child. So back the fuck off.
Back off!
Neil.
No! Check fire! Check fire! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
Lucy. Lucy. Hey. Oh, fuck. Fuck.
Neil.
You have to save her. Please. Please.
We can try. But there's going to be conditions. This child is invaluable to us. You have to agree to let us take it.
She'll survive. She'll survive. Give me your word.
I give you my word, Neil. I give you my word.
Or I guess I should have said the end of Neil's story. When they return, everyone gets woken up by this little blue bug when it lands on them. When Tomorrow awakes, we can now clearly see the little heart-shaped birthmark on her elbow, the same one that Lou has, and the same one that Kojima has been trying to hide this whole game. In every scene with Tomorrow up until this point, her arm is always covered, and once you notice it, you can't not notice it. Sam and Tomorrow embrace, and before the credits hit, another scene plays that intrigued me.
Me, I've always loved porters. Through freezing rain and biting wind, across rivers, mountains, and endless deserts. They come to deliver something priceless. A glimpse of a life I've never known. They're my window, my sole connection to the outside world. And I know they'll be back again today. And every day. Even when we're long gone. Death can't tear us apart.
Death Stranding 3? Starring Elle Fanning? I'm not gonna lie, she looks badass in this porta suit. And she's wearing Fragile's neck hands. And she's smoking now, so you know she's cool. The picture she's looking through also implies that Rainey finally had her baby, so this is truly a huge leap forward in the Death Stranding mythos. And I'm honestly very excited to see where it takes us.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me.